This couple minutes for people to come on and say hello. So if you're available to be able to watch, then just give me a quick hello. We're just going to sit for a second, let people come on, get myself all organized. I actually made notes for today. Feel like I was talking in circles yesterday while I was talking to all of you guys. Takes a little bit to get back in the swing of going live. As most of you know, I haven't done that for a couple of years. It's been pretty overwhelming for everyone. So going live was just really too tough to do energetically. Just say hi to me once you get into chat, just so I know who's here. Just get an approximation of who I'm talking to. While I'm waiting, I don't know about you, but I'm really liking that things are starting to get nicer outside. I uh, I say this all the time, and it doesn't make a lot of sense because I'm Canadian, but I really don't like the winter. I'm not a winter fan. Not sure why. So while everybody's coming on, and hello, and yes, you can absolutely chat with me whenever you'd like. Um, I decided to take some notes for today. I did a video yesterday asking you if you wanted some help in healing and coming to a different place emotionally and energetically so that we can actually live our lives the way that we all want to and find some freedom of choice in everything that's going on. And I got a lot of responses back telling me that yes, you would like me to continue. So today, what I want to talk to you about is um, emotional for me. So before I get into the notes, one of the things that kind of makes me different than a lot of people outside of being a clairvoyant and a psychologist and a therapist is for the last 2+ years, I have been forced to see things from every perspective and not just hold on to my own personal views, my own personal traumas. What's made that so much different is that I have been, outside of being exhausted, given the immense gift of understanding what's going on with people from every side of the fence. And I think that's really helped me to keep and hold most of my emotions in check. I mean, I'm like everybody else. I'm going to have a bad day, but I think that it's really assisted me in letting go of so much anger and so much frustration. And so I want to talk today about where we're all the same. And this is not a post to convince you of one side or the other. And this is truly a post for each and every person that has lived through this last 2+ years. This is not about sides because, it doesn't matter, truthfully, at this particular moment. It doesn't matter if you believe the government or you don't. It doesn't matter if you agree with the restrictions or you don't. It doesn't matter if you are angry because of what's being taken away or angry because not enough is being taken away. It doesn't matter in this particular instance because we have all, each and every one of us, been through a horrendously bad 2 years. Horrendously bad. And it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. We've all been through that. We have all struggled for the last 2 plus years. Because I always get to see both sides of the fence, I'm lucky enough to not take all of this frustration and anger so personal. We are not, we're so busy out there making posts and getting angry and standing on our soapbox. And I got a soapbox too, so I'm not judging about what we believe and what we think things should be. That we're not realizing that we've all lost and we have all suffered. And as much as we haven't lost and suffered the same, we have all lost and suffered. As humans, it's really tough to step out of our own emotions and to come off of our soapbox just that we can see every side. But in order to truly be empathetic, in order to truly adjust our energy to achieve the life that we're trying to create individually and as a whole, we have to. We have all suffered and we are all hurting. Every person that is alive today has lost. I have dealt with people that have lost loved ones with COVID. I have dealt with people that have lost loved ones with vaccine side effects. I have dealt with people that have lost their businesses because of COVID. I have dealt with people that have lost their businesses because of their belief system during COVID. I have dealt with people that have lost people that they love from suicide because they can't take what's going on. I have dealt with people that have lost their loved ones because of what they believe. I've dealt with people that have lost their loved ones because of what they don't believe. I have dealt with people that feel devastatingly alone. I have dealt with people that feel like no one's listening or understanding. I have dealt with every side of the fence in this last 2 plus years. And the one thing that is absolutely the same is that we have all suffered and we have all hurt. And each and every one of us should be proud of ourselves for surviving. And we should understand that every person that you come across, every person that you walk by, every person in that shopping store, every person in their vehicle, every person that you witness and that you experience in your daily life, regardless of whether they're wearing a mask or they're not, have and are suffering. We're not all in the same boat. It's an absolute true story. And we are never going to always see things the same way. You would be surprised what a difference it makes being able to look at each other with a nod of, I respect you. You've suffered too. You the difference that that makes, being able to acknowledge and understand that your enemies, your people that frustrate you, they're going through the same thing that you are on the other side of the fence. And it doesn't matter what province you live in. It doesn't matter what country you live in. It doesn't matter what you agree or what you don't. It matters for you. So don't misunderstand me. What you believe matters for you. And what you stand for matters for you. But it doesn't change the fact that each and every one of us have suffered. And each and every one of us have hurt. And each and every one of us have lost. We've lost people that we love. We've lost people that we thought um, we agreed with. We lost our ability to communicate equally. We've we've lost so much, and we keep getting mad at what's happened instead of paying attention to your experience, what you've been through in this last 2 plus years. It is why you feel the way you feel. Your experience over the last 2 plus years and your experience in the past. Being a former abused wife, and I might be, a little fast on the draw, but being a former abused wife, I see abuse really fast. It's like a beacon, but I see it because of my experiences. If somebody has never been abused, they're not easily going to see being abused. That's not how they're going to see something, okay? I if you look at from a different perspective, let's take COVID off the table for a second, and you look at a different perspective, and you look at losing someone you love. Okay. If I sat 10 people down in a room and did an interview, and each one of those 10 people lost their mom or their dad, they will give you a different response to their trauma. They will give you a different answer to what they went through. Some will be devastated and ripped apart, and some will think that life went the right way, that you're supposed to bury your parents, not your children. Okay. And some will still feel like they can't go on, even if they knew intellectually or logically that one day they'd have to lose them. We all see things based on our experiences in life and our traumas. And while you're getting mad at each side of the fence for what they think or what they believe, you're not paying to the attention to the fact that they have a different experience than you and they've been through a different struggle, and that is okay, because we are not all on the same ship in this schoolyard. We're not. We wish we were, but we're not. We're not all on. You know, some people have no idea what to do with struggle, and other people have no idea what to do without struggle. We're not all coming from the same place, but we have all suffered, and we've suffered greatly. We've suffered with restrictions, we've suffered with things being taken away, we've suffered with not enough restriction, we've suffered with not enough things taken away, we've suffered with fear of a virus, we've suffered with fear of a vaccine, we've suffered with loss, we've suffered with addictions, we've suffered financially, we've suffered emotionally, we've suffered psychologically. There isn't a person alive today in 2022, there isn't a person alive today that isn't traumatized from this last 2 plus years. And that, you got to find the common ground. You got to find the common ground. That is our common ground. And no matter what side of the fence that you're on, I am so sorry for what you've lost and what you've been through. And your voice, it does matter. And I understand that there's a lot of people out there around you telling you that it doesn't. They're telling you that because they don't think their voice is being heard, not because they don't think you get to have one. We look at things from such a different perspective because of what our own personal experiences are in that moment. And that's where this division is coming from. I'd love to blame the government just like everybody else. And I'm not going to tell you how you should feel about it, because I've experienced the government differently than you have. So I'm not going to tell you what to think or what to feel about that. I don't care what our differences are. I want or in order for us to move to the next level, we have to stop focusing on our differences and really start focusing on our similarities. In any time in your life when you get a friend or somebody comes into your life, what attracts you to them is your similarities. And over this last 2 plus years, I have lost a lot less people than many of you have, and I am an advocate for what I believe. I don't keep quiet. That's not what happens. I don't believe that it's my job to tell you what to think. I believe it's my job to help you with what you think and to work with your information versus my information. But that's not why I haven't lost so many people. I haven't lost as many people as some of you because I'm focusing on what we have in common. I'm focusing on why we're the same, not why we're different. You know, there are things about each and every one of us that this last 2 plus years is showing us is the same. And you deserve credit. You deserve to know that you have survived psychological, emotional, detrimental, and physical warfare on your lives, regardless of the reason, regardless of whether you believe in the virus or you don't. You have suffered a war for these last 2 plus years. You have had to review, redirect, cry your tears alone, in groups. You have had to start over or start again or make decisions and choices that you didn't want to make so that you didn't have to start over. You have hurt, and that's what we have in common. And that's the part that is gonna step us out of this cloud, is understanding that. Calling each other names, that's not helping anybody. That's not helping anybody. It's not helping you. It's not making you feel any better calling that person a name. It's not making me feel any better being called the name. It's not doing any good. And after this last 2 years, I think that we need to learn that we stop doing no good. If it's not good, if it's not good for your soul, if it's not good for your heart, if it's not good for your energy, it's not good. That's the point. It's not good. There is not one person, regardless of what's taken place. You can complain and you can gripe that a politician's never stopped getting paid, and doesn't mean they didn't suffer. Okay, they just didn't suffer with money, and you suffered with money. And so that's our other problem, is that we think that one suffering's bigger than another suffering. But that's our own personal belief. That's our own personal perspective. If I think that losing a loved one is more important than losing money, that's mine. That's not everybody's. That's mine. For some, losing money, having to start over again, having to rebuild from the ground up is the biggest devastation they will ever face in their life. For others, not getting to hold the hand of somebody you love while they die is the biggest devastation you're ever going to experience. For someone else, not being able to prevent that loved person, that loved one from leaving this earth is going to be the greatest devastation. We all have different devastations, but we're all still devastated. We focus so much on where we're different, and how we move through this cloud is we focus on where we're the same. Whether you love Jesus, or you love the universe, or you love Mother Earth, the goddess, or you love yourself, you still love. That's the equality. That's what makes us similar, is that you still love, not what you love, that you still believe, not what you believe, and that you have suffered, not how you suffered. And nobody else gets to grade another person's suffering. Walk a mile in my shoes. Nobody gets to grade another person's suffering, and nobody gets to minimalize that and still be a good, solid human being. And that's what we need to be. So, for each and every one of you, I am sorry that you suffered. I feel your pain. I do. I feel what you're going through. And the truth is, everybody around you does too. They just don't know yet how to get out of what they're thinking and feeling and look at what you're going through, because that matters. It absolutely matters. And the thing you got to understand, my friends, is that your life will never be the same. It will never be the same again. You have experienced too much. No matter what you believe, no matter what you've been through, your life will never be the same. In that, we're equal. Our lives will never be the same. And you should be extremely proud of yourself that through everything, the good, the bad, the extremely ugly, you're still standing. You're still standing. Whether you're standing alone or you're standing in a group of people, you are still standing. And that is something to be proud of. And I just don't think we're giving ourselves or each other enough credit to what we've experienced and been through, especially in the last 2.5 years. You have one, two, 20 reasons why you feel the way you feel, believe what you believe. And the healing starts within, and it comes from realizing our similarities, not our differences. You know, we have lived our entire lives not agreeing with everything with the people that we love. You know, each and every one of us, this is not new. COVID did not start this trend. We have all lived our lives with people in our lives that do not have all of the same beliefs, do not have all of the same understandings, do not have all of the same awareness. It's what brings us strength. It's what brings us growth. I learn from those differences. You learn from our differences. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we become better souls. And it starts with focusing on where we're the same and not where we're different. And you would be so surprised. You would be so surprised what a difference it will make in your life and in the world's life, in this entire planet. The difference between losing and winning, the difference between being separated and coming together that will happen just by simply being able to look at the person across from you, no matter who that person is, whether you know them or you don't, and saying, I am sorry for the loss, for all of the loss that you've experienced in this last 2+ years. And I accept and understand that we have suffered differently. I admire you for still standing. And whether we stand together or we stand apart, I forgive you for acting and reacting on your pain. And I'm asking you to forgive me for doing the same. That is where we make a difference. We're all the same in the understanding that we want to be accepted, that we need to be accepted for who we are. But it doesn't mean that we're giving it in return. And that is not just a lesson in COVID, that is a lesson in life. You get what you give. That is life. You get what you give. Okay. Now, you can sit back and in your frustration say, well, that's just a crock of crap, KJ. I see people that somehow manage to have this wonderful life and they've been nothing but bad. You don't know their life. You only know what you see. You only know what you see on the outside. You do not know what is going on on the inside. I have dealt with some of the most successful people, the wealthiest people, the people that come across as the happiest people in this world. I have one-on-one communicated and dealt with them, and I'm telling you, you don't know another person's pain, but it's there. It's there. And over this last 2 years, it's been worse. So just be tall and be proud and accept that you are not alone in the struggles that you've lived with, and just say, "I'm sorry you suffered." That's that changes the energy. That lets go of this side versus this side. It doesn't mean that you're wrong, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't fight for what you believe. It's not what it means. It means fight the system. Fight the system, not the person. Not the person that sits beside you, okay? You don't know why anybody outside of you have done what they've done or not done what they've done. And we have had it's been long enough. It's been long enough of calling each other names. It's been long enough calling each other sheeples and stupid and idiots, and learn how to read and do your research outside of Facebook. It's been long enough. It's been long enough. This virus isn't going anywhere. And it was supposed to affect our immune system, not our souls. It was supposed to affect our bodies, not our souls. And we're allowing it to affect our souls. And that's what you have control over. Okay. There shouldn't be anything that's not on the table. We shouldn't look at every option. We should look at absolutely every option. Sorry, I said shouldn't. We should. But most importantly, we have to understand that I am not alone in suffering. I am not the only one that hurt. I am not the only one that had to make decisions and choices I didn't want to make. I am not the only one that is affected by what's going on. Every one of us are. And so On my behalf, I am sorry for your suffering. And I understand that your experience is why you feel the way you feel. And I respect that. I respect you, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what you stand for. I respect you. And I thank you for still standing after everything you've been through. I thank you for still standing. I hope that this helps. I hope that you guys understand the steps that you need to take. We have to give the energy of forgiveness for growth. Okay? Hate feeds hate. Anger feeds anger. Love feeds love. Forgiveness feeds forgiveness. There are a lot of amazing things that have come from this last 2+ years, and I'm going to share that too in other videos. We have all suffered, and we have all suffered equally. So no matter where you stand, no matter what soapbox you sit on, whether you're a liberal, you're a conservative, you're an NDP, you're a unicorn, I don't care. I don't care. I stand with you because you have survived the most brutal 2 years any of us have ever lived, and that deserves my respect. Have a great Thursday.